So it's that time again, Scottish Premiership predictions, the last one before a little mini international break, of course. Match day 7, where we have some must-win games for both Glasgow teams, of course, to try and get a bit of good feeling about the place and keep in touch and distance with Hearts, potentially. And, of course, we have the Edinburgh derby, which is today, of course, the late kick-off today, and Aberdeen, who need to start picking up wins. So it's all important, as always, for match day 7. But before we get to the predictions for it, if you are new around here, please consider checking out some of the other content on the channel. A new SPFL RTG episode for the first 3 games of Foot Champs with the team will be going up today as well. If you fancy checking that out, that would be brilliant. But without further ado, let's get into the predictions for match day 7 in the Scottish Premiership. Starting off at Tannadice with Dundee United versus Livingston. Dundee United last time out, pretty shock, to be honest, with the way that both teams had started the season. Lost to Kilmarnock, although in saying that, like I said in the prediction video last time, Kilmarnock's only win prior to the other results was against Dundee United, and they've been steadily progressing and getting better, to be fair. But I just felt the way that Dundee United had started the season, that was a bit of a surprise. Livingston, of course, up and down against Rangers. First half pretty poor after a good start. Second half pretty good, but it finished off poor with the late goal for them. They'll probably feel as though they should have taken something from that game, but they have to start bouncing back and getting results again, because they've dropped a couple of points and they don't want to do the same again. However, I don't feel as though they will be picking up points in this game. I think Dundee United will be the team to bounce back and pick up the win against Livingston, and I'm going to go for a 2-1 Dundee United win. On to Kilmarnock versus St Mirren. Should be a very close-fought fixture, you would imagine, with these two teams. Tough one to predict, but with it being at Rugby Park, I am going to go for a Kilmarnock win in this case to kick on from their win against Dundee United last weekend, and I'm going to go for a 1-0 Kilmarnock win. So we're going to go into Sunday's fixtures before we get to the big one, the Edinburgh derby this weekend, biggest game of the weekend by far. We have Aberdeen versus Dundee. Now, Aberdeen, of course, put in a very respectable performance against Shakhtar midweek. Is that going to be enough to kick on their season? We'll have to wait and see. Dundee, of course, have started the season a lot better than a lot of people would have given them credit for doing, but I think this could potentially, based off the showing that I saw from Aberdeen, we'll see. It could have the opposite impact. Not getting anything from the game and putting in a performance like that might have the absolute opposite impact. They could be tired from the midweek fixture as well. But I'm going to back Aberdeen to finally get a league win in this game, and I'm going to go for 1-0 Aberdeen. Celtic versus Motherwell. Celtic, of course, coming off the back of a really disappointing 2-0 loss to Braga, despite the very, very controversial disallowed goal from Kelechi Iheanacho. You still shouldn't be losing at home to Braga in these games if you want to progress. Of course, there's a lot of negativity surrounding the Celtic board at the moment, and just the way that the team's playing on the park. Motherwell probably would feel as though they should have picked up more points than they have done this season with the style of play that they've got, and they'll fancy their chances at trying to open up Celtic and potentially get some goals. But I am going to back Celtic to win before the international break. 2-1 in this game. And on to the game that's on television on Sky Sports tomorrow, Falkirk versus Rangers. Rangers, of course, passed the Plastic Park test against Livingston last week, and they're facing off against the team that beat Livingston to the title last season in Falkirk. Of course, coming off the back of another disappointing result away from home in Europe, a 2-1 loss to Sturm Graz. They did play much better in the second half, but the first half could have been a lot of goals conceded were it not for Jack Butland. Falkirk probably would feel as though they maybe could have a little bit more points on the board. Showed character to come back from 2-2 to Hibs, but they got absolutely smashed by Hearts 3-0 last weekend, so they'll look to try and bounce back from that. But I'm going to predict I'm going to go for a Rangers win in this game, funnily enough. I just think, from what I've seen from Falkirk this season, they're a wee bit leaky at the back, so I'm going to go for a 2-1 Rangers win. So, on to the big one this afternoon, Hearts versus Hibs. It's a huge Edinburgh derby anyway whenever it comes around, but this one mightily huge as it has the chance to keep Hearts top of the table, especially if Celtic were to drop points to Motherwell. It could extend that lead as well, so huge game with that respect. Hibs have had a very stop-start season. Domestically, it's not been great at all. Europe they showed glimpses, but they need to start getting a kick on domestically now, and it would be the perfect game to do it in if they can get a result from this game. But I'm not going to back Hibs to get a result from this game. I'm going to back Hearts to ride on that momentum and carry on the positive results into the international break, and I'm going to go for a 3-2 exciting Hearts win in this case. So that's going to do it for the predictions for match day 7 in the Scottish Premiership. Of course, our last set of fixtures before a little mini international break with the Scotland games coming up, which I'll do predictions for then. If you are new around here, please consider checking out some of the other content on the channel, and I'll catch you in the next one.